Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Oh, it's just not a very beautiful Monday when you don't get a fight song to start your Monday.
Bro. No fight song.
Here we are inside this. There's our fight song.
Yeah, that needs to be our theme after a loss, right there.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe a real fight song.
Hey, we were walking up, Bill and I, and Spags is looking outside into the desolate weather outside. He says, looking for a ray of sunshine. I say, is that metaphorical?
It is a drizzly day here
It is.
in Frisco, Texas.
With drizzly results.
Did it look like
Looking
the sun?
for a ray
Did the
of
sun
sunshine.
come up?
No, it did not.
The sun is. There's been no sign that the sun has come up.
No
today.
sign.
This is one of those Mondays.
Well, here we are. 3-5. I will say this: the Los Angeles Rams last year were 3-6 and made the playoffs.
I'm
This
not
year they
giving up
were
yet,
1-4, and now they're 4-4 and tied for first place in their division.
Is that crazy? Man.
Yeah, that was a fun finish to that game.
Yeah, and there ain't nothing fun after yesterday.
That's
Bill.
true.
So let's just not even go
Okay,
there.
all right.
I
so,
know we're trying to spread the local wealth here in regards to Matthew Stafford.
and Jackson Smith and Jigba for Seattle too.
Wow. What a game, man.
It was. See there, I tell you.
See there?
That's right. We can't talk about that though. We got to talk about our team.
Yeah, we should. I mean, we'll get into that the next segment.
Well, Bill,
maybe.
New Orleans was 2-0, and they just fired their coach.
They just
so
fired
How about
Coach.
that? How about that? New Orleans. We're sitting here. I was sitting here 7 weeks ago, and touting about New Orleans, and they got Clint Kubiak as their offensive coordinator, and they put up over 40 points their first two games.
They got all these veterans.
And they might have the best team in the
locked
NFC.
down on their
And
contracts.
how smart
Yeah.
were they to keep Dennis Allen? And he's been with the organization for a decade, and that defense. You talk about their offense, but man, their defense. They got all these veteran guys back.
Yeah.
They've lost 7 straight games, and Dennis Allen lost his job today.
Lost his job. That's crazy, man.
And then there's the Raiders. Well, we knew what the Raiders was going to happen with them back in preseason when we saw them have their starters in for the first half of a preseason game, and they couldn't beat these guys. And they fired 3 coaches today.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
So,
But if you're looking for that ray of sunshine, what did Arizona get off to? And now they're leading the West,
Isn't that something?
5-4.
they're 5-4. The Rams in San Francisco are 4-4,
They just had
and
Seattle
Seattle's
4-5.
4-5. There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah.
And Cincinnati got off to what, a 1-3 start?
How about Chicago?
Yeah.
So Chicago a week ago yesterday, they are one play away from being like 5-2, and then they had a Hail Mary, and then they got their butts kicked by the Cardinals yesterday, 29-9.
And nobody cares.
Just wait. Just wait a week. It's
crazy,
the NFL.
And that's why I'm not giving up hope. That is why I'm still optimistic. I know I'm a fool for that, but hell, I got nothing else, guys. I got nothing else. I
well-
can sit here and bellyache all I want about it, but if I'm a
Cowboys-
player, and I'm hoping that they're thinking as we're trying to think as players right now. The Spags thinks as an executive, of course, but we're
Right.
trying to think as players. What can I do so we can get on a run? Are we improving? Are we getting worse? That's one thing we have to self-evaluate. And I was listening to the tight end.
Jake Ferguson?
No, the tight end from the commentator.
Oh, Greg Olson.
Thank you, Olson. And he put it as simply as it could be put. It's the little things. We miss a block. CD, man, talk about somebody who's got some guts. All game long got some guts. But if on that end around, jet sweep, stay outside, and you might be going to the house. Stay outside, you might be going to the house. Cooper Rush comes in and throws a heck of a post corner, but because of CD's injury, he can't even reach for the ball was painful, and so he couldn't catch it because there's just really I've been there. Well, it was this shoulder. Well, it was both shoulders.
His was his right.
Yeah, well, mine was both, but yeah, I could imagine what I felt initially when I heard mine. His continued. Mine, I was blessed enough to where it didn't hurt as much throughout the game. His feeling was, and you could see it, that pain never went away. He was playing with that pain the entire game. After a while, it just gets numb. Mine got numb. His was not numb. He could feel that pain every time he ran, and he stayed in there. I got to give him a lot of credit to that.
2-point conversion.
Man. And
After
then
being out.
He got hit on the shoulder again on the 2-point conversion. So, yeah, I got to give him some love on that. But the small things, you got guys, I don't care if you're a backup or not. You got to play, man. You got to do your job. I don't care if you're an offensive lineman going against some of the best defensive linemen ever, which they were not. You can't have false starts in critical situations. Are we looking at a lack of talent? Are we looking at a lack of detail in everything that we're doing?
Like, for instance, on the jet sweep, did McCarthy get asked about his frustration after the jet sweep?
Was that when he threw the
when he threw the tablet down?
See, what you guys don't understand, we don't see that stuff in the press box usually.
You didn't have the broadcast?
Well, it's on, but it's delayed, and you're taking notes.
So then the replay of him throwing the tablet was probably during the course of the next offensive play, and so you're watching the play on the field, so you don't see the replay.
They didn't even show it right after.
No one.
No, it was later.
No one asked about that.
Right. Well, he'll get asked about it
it's
today.
the same thing about Dak's hand, right? They focused on his right hand, said it was swollen, all that. He had a little cut right here between his second and third finger, and we were walking up the steps to the flight, and I said, "By the way, no one asked about your hand. Is it okay?" And he goes, "Yeah, look." And he had a little, it was almost like a paper cut, but he was bleeding, right? And he goes, "It happens to me all the time." I said, "So it doesn't hurt?" He goes, "No." And he was carrying his carry-on stuff in his right hand, right? And I'm going, well, if that hand's busted up or whatever, you're not doing that. So the hand's
not a problem. So there is a
there you
go. What the hell's the problem then?
Yeah.
They were probably
trying
fixing the cut so he's not bleeding.
But why didn't he come back in the game?
No, it was a hamstring.
No, it was a hamstring.
It was a hamstring.
I thought it was
okay. But what Mickey's saying is sometimes those shots on television can be misleading.
I didn't know which one
where trainers are
one of the two. His hand.
So then narrative.
His hand is okay.
Yeah, the hand's fine. And so, but see, there's where the narrative is established for the talking points for the next 24 to 48 hours until you can.
So when he throws the ball, that wasn't the hand.
No, it's the hamstring.
I thought I heard hamstring.
Yeah,
it is.
No, it's
but
a hamstring.
By the way, he walked up the steps because when you're on the tarmac, you walk up steps, probably 20, right? I was right behind him. I didn't have to help him. Okay. He went all 20 steps on his own with that hamstring.
Yeah.
So
did he run up the steps?
No, he did not run. He did not run.
So he'll be fine if he can walk through the next game. If the next game is a walkthrough, he'll be fine.
That's right.
So we're urging him to run the ball more.
Yeah,
right. And
he runs the ball. And see, that's what I fussed about initially when me and my son watched the game. So then they said hand. I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe I was mistaken. I thought they said hamstring, but
yeah,
they said
it was
hand,
hamstring.
But it was hamstring.
Yeah.
So he
ran more.
He's the leading rusher on the team.
Yeah. Well,
for that game.
No,
Dowdle was fine.
Oh, that's
Rico.
Right. So those swing passes. Some of them were
No. He had 12 carries for 75 yards, and he had 5 catches for 36 and a touchdown.
So he had 107.
So he had 6.5 yards a carry.
He was balling.
It was his second 100 yards from scrimmage game of the season.
He was balling.
But back to McCarthy on throwing the tablet. To your point on CD just getting wider, I want to find out from McCarthy what did he see on what was supposed to happen on that play that made him so irate.
Where we lost
and I wonder if it was communication issues on the offensive line again.
Well, it sure didn't get blocked.
Because Caden Ellis, the linebacker, was unblocked. Terrence Steele blocked down. They doubled down, and so who was supposed to take, or was anyone supposed to take Ellis? As Greg Olson pointed out, Greg Olson points out that's the difference. You got a linebacker there instead of a defensive lineman who's down and
all fours versus standing up,
and he can see the play as it comes to him.
It came into fruition when CD was successful because he noticed he pointed out the difference. See, this guy's down in all fours. That's why I was successful.
I'm thinking though that it was a missed assignment that caused the coach to throw the tablet, because I don't think he's going to react like that just
because
based on the linebacker happened to be up there.
Right.
You
and
know,
that
it had to be something that the Cowboys didn't do right.
But having looked at the play, there's nothing that could have gone right as that guy diagnosed it the way he did. I can't see who was. I thought it was about deception. I didn't think it was about someone missing a block.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you what.
That's what we need to find out.
I got tired of hearing his name called too. By the way,
yeah,
that guy was on the injury report all week, right? And then he ended up with 37 tackles, I think. Everything it was Ellis this, Ellis that. It's like, who is this guy? I'm sorry.
It goes to show. Because all week long, outside of the injury report, everyone's thought, well, Atlanta, their front seven, Grady Jarrett's not what he used to be. Yeah. Matt Judon hadn't done anything, whatever. No one talks about Caden Ellis. They talk, y'all watch this Jesse Bates, and the other safety, Justin Simmons, and A.J. Terrell's having a good year. We're talking about the secondary. Well, there are good players on other teams that nobody talks about.
And we've got players on our team that aren't playing the way they're supposed to, so we allow these overachievers to play the way they played.
They've got the 11th worst record in the league right now.
Who?
The Cowboys.
And they're one game ahead of the worst record because there are 9 teams in the league that have 2 wins.
Yeah.
And there's none with fewer than 2 wins now, but 9 have 2 wins. And yet, you go on a little Cooper Rush run of 4-1 the next 5 weeks, and you're right there.
So, what is that? The diagnosis that Dak's out for a number of weeks?
No. We don't know yet. No. They're doing it.
Yeah,
but if it comes to that,
they're an MRI.
To that.
Yeah, it's great if you have Cooper Rush in there, but can the offensive line continue to block, and can the defensive line not allow the quarterback on that touchdown? By the way, that he threw to Ray McLeod, came in motion from the left and went all the way to the right. It was a 6-second play. 6 seconds. He stood in that pocket for that guy to go from the left side to the right side before he threw it. If you can't do better than that, he at one point completed 13 consecutive passes. He was having a picnic in the pocket, right? Just standing there looking around, and it's like, oh, let me go there. Yeah. They can't get consistent pressure on the quarterback. He has all day to throw. And, I think a lot of people thought, well, Bijan Robinson, they're just going to run. No, they started with 3 wide receivers and basically did it, I bet,
and
all but 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, that's what they do. It's 11 personnel, but they will throw it out to Bijan. I mean, that's an offense built around Bijan.
Actually, you hurt them worse on those little passes than they did running the ball.
And Bijan had 86 yards on 19 carries and 7 catches for 59 yards. So he totaled 155 yards.
We matched him. We matched him on the other side.
With Rico had 75 rushing and 32 receiving.
I didn't think he was as
effective
as I thought he would be.
The other 4 games they lost, the opposing team averaged 212 yards rushing. They held them to 100, if I remember
once again,
correctly.
Olsen talked about it, as you guys look up whatever you're looking up.
It was 100. It took them 30
was the little
carries.
things, bro.
I know.
It was the little things. They didn't. I wouldn't necessarily say they outplayed us. It was just the little things, and we were in the game. I even when they were up by 2 scores, I still felt good about us until Dak got hurt, and then Cooper comes in throwing some decent passes, and at that time we're scrambling. But I still thought we played them as well as we could have with the mistakes that we kept making.
But keep in mind on the Atlanta side, they had Drake London early in the game, and he caught the touchdown pass, and then they didn't have Drake London, one of their primary pieces on offense, the whole rest of the game. Kyle Pitts only had one catch in the game. And so...
and the onside recovery.
Yep, that's true. Yep.
I thought they were going to try to blow that up for a minute. I mean, the game was really, some people say, well, the score wasn't indicative of how the game was. I thought it was.
No, it was.
I thought it was. I really thought it was because I didn't see them doing anything that really overwhelmed us, but it was our own ineptitude that was so frustrating to watch. When you start talking about missed assignments and the false starts, man, we've got to stop with these false starts. In crucial situations, we shoot ourselves in the foot so much.
What did they have? 1 or 2?
Well, but they were in key situations. When you got a false start on the goal line.
The holdings were the ones that got them.
Yeah, penalties.
The holding
12 men in the huddle was
that's inexcusable. I figured that's when McCarthy threw his iPad down.
I don't think that was it.
Because it's 4th and 1, right? And they're running the fullback in to the huddle, Lipke, because was it third? It was 3rd and 1, and then it was 3rd and whatever.
It was 4th and 1,
and then it was 4th
they were going to go for
it. They were yeah.
There you go.
And Dalvin Cook was still in the huddle, so I don't know if they didn't communicate it right.
Well, and it gets back to Dalvin Cook. How much has he worked with the first team?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he has a coach.
Right.
He has a running back coach. There should be some type of communication, or just yell, "Hey, man, get your ass up! Sorry, get off the field."
Well, that's why. But I think they were trying. No, they weren't.
You've got
they
a lot
were
of
in
coaches
the huddle.
down
they
there,
weren't
bro.
going no huddle, and that's why I think this happened to Romo one time, and he learned that when they're doing personnel change, go stand 5 yards from the huddle. Because the huddle doesn't start until the quarterback's in there.
Right.
So you can run a guy off, right? And there was a controversy.
But if you're aware of it,
but that'll give somebody, hey, get out of there. God. And that happened to the Cowboys because he was not in the huddle and they called too many guys on the field, like they were in formation or something. But yeah, it's little things like that, and I think we should start with some of the little things, a couple of the plays that really turned a 7-3 game totally around when after that end around that ended up losing 3 yards. And Atlanta ended up with the ball basically at midfield at the 47.
All right, and we will do that, and we are on Zeke Watch, and we are on MRI Watch as the day continues, and we're back with more in a moment here on Mix Shots.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel? Attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls. With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says...
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Back to Mick Shots.
Head to AT&T Stadium to experience Rally Day presented by SeatGeek on Saturday, November 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get ready to cheer on your Dallas Cowboys with tours of AT&T Stadium, autographs from the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, ticket giveaways, games, and more. Visit AT&TStadium.com/rallydays to get your tickets today.
Okay, Mickey wants to go through everything that went wrong yesterday.
Well, let's take care of the Zeke thing first. I think.
Oh, okay. All right. What do you know?
Your show, brother.
Well,
it's called Mick Shots.
From my understanding, that they had made a decision late in the week that he wasn't going to play. He was going to be inactive. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that precipitated his pride to be hurt and then, didn't show up on time or didn't show up for the Saturday practice. Because he's thinking.
So their schedule on Saturday, they work out in the morning and then their afternoon flight.
Right. Got to be there at 1:45
for the flight.
For the flight.
And you know that because you're on the flight.
I'm on it at 1 because they ain't waiting for my ass. They will not be taken off late because Mickey Spagnola's not there.
The news broke
right when we took off.
You and the pilot are there together.
Okay, when he didn't show up for the flight, I'm kidding.
But they sent out the email.
Whereas, you want to tell the Norv Turner, Michael Irvin story?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's so funny. That's what I thought about when he didn't travel.
He missed the flight to Detroit.
Yeah.
Jimmy said, "What time we're leaving?" It's 2:00. What time is it? 2:00. Let's go. Wheels up. They left Michael behind, right? And he had to fly out there on his own. And so he had to go to Jimmy when he got there. And the discipline was, you're not starting. You're sitting out the first possession. And when Norv found out about it, he said, if we kick off, is that the first possession?
Okay, now back.
And but what was the answer to that?
He sat out the first possession.
Okay.
All right, now back to Zeke.
So Zeke, basically, I don't know if it happened. They said, well, he didn't show up on time for practice or he didn't show up on Saturday. But he wasn't going to play. So a lot was made on a guy that was going to be inactive. And he probably had never been inactive in his career.
His feelings was hurt.
Yeah.
Outside of last games of seasons, whenever.
Yeah, when you're not going to play, right?
And he's resting up for the playoffs.
And I'm thinking in his mind, it's like, well, I ain't sitting on the bench in tennis shoes. So the disciplinary action took place.
Well, I don't
know if they assumed he was going to show up for the game.
That's what I said. He was the smart one. He figured out how not to go to Atlanta.
Right? So anyway, that's kind of what happened.
I read something, social media.
Yeah.
It said that he's been habitually late for meetings.
That's been going around.
Is that true?
Well, no one reported it till then, right? And I don't know that he's been habitually late. That's one of those things. That, all right, he's.
And my son read it to me. I didn't even ask who the source was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want you to address that as well. So you're not sure about that.
Yeah, but I've heard that circulating. So anyway, we'll see where it goes forward. My antennas went up when they said that was, well, they didn't want him to play, and they're thinking maybe on Monday they can trade him, so they don't want a chance getting him hurt. But I was told you're dead wrong.
Yeah.
So anyway, All right.
That would not be the reason, but McCarthy did say something about Monday. They'll
readdress.
On
readdress
Monday.
It and see where they're at. Yeah,
we'll see where we're at Monday. Something like that
right.
is what he said. And there is speculation that if he's discontented here and he wants a move, then there is a trade deadline looming tomorrow.
But you heard what Dak said when he had to address it. And he called it a mutual decision.
Right.
So there was two sides to him not playing, right?
We got a little controversy going on here. Mutual decision.
And it could be a mutual decision
going forward. Yeah.
Too.
Just let me go.
Yeah.
So, all right.
That's what's going to be interesting the next 24 hours to see what plays out on that.
It's a good distraction from us sucking. So the little things, Spags. The little things.
You spend so much time on social media.
No, my son spends time on social media.
So you see these little
I'm over there
clips.
throwing stuff at the TV. He's over there firing me up.
Did you see this on the sideline?
Let's start.
See what he said on the sideline?
Let's start with the 4th and 1 at the 44 end around.
All right.
Okay.
Jet sweep.
I had written down that they had 8 guys in the box, and the Cowboys tried to run the jet sweep, and obviously the linebacker stops it for -3.
A good call, though, to me.
Right.
I think it's a good call.
If that linebacker's not there, it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, they get the ball at the 47, 5 plays, 53 yards, a touchdown. And if you remember the play, it was a 4th and 3 at the 36. And Hooker and Overshone are on the line of scrimmage, and they're blitzing. Okay? They had 3 wide receivers bunched to the right, Robinson and Pitts to the left. And at the snap, Lewis and Carson were on the 3 with the 3 wide receivers. Diggs was off like 5 yards behind.
Diggs was confused where he was supposed to be.
He didn't know where he was supposed to go.
Diggs was late getting out there, and he was
and he was 5 yards off the line of scrimmage.
And that was coming out of a timeout, by
at
the
the
way.
snap,
and he was hurt.
At the snap,
that's right.
Very
hurt.
injured,
Yeah, that's right.
At the snap, their 2 wide receivers, Hodge and McLeod, went straight at the Lewis and Carson. Right there was contact, and for some reason, instead of Diggs going over the top to get Mooney, who was going around the cluster, he went right into it. Right now, I don't know where. And after last week, I don't know what a pick play is anymore. And Mooney, the one wide receiver, I think it was Hodge, he ran into Lewis, right? And he put his hands up in the air like, oh, he just ran into me.
Right.
Well, no, you ran into him. And so all of a sudden here comes Mooney all the way around, and he ain't got nobody covering him.
Well, Greg Olsen was great.
Yes, he was.
Analyzing that.
Yes, he was.
And as an aside, I love listening to Greg Olsen call games.
I do too.
I mean, he is a tremendous insight.
Yes, he does.
And what he was talking about on that, when you see you got 4 on 3, one of those guys is going to be blitzing, okay?
Yeah.
And one of those guys blitzed, and Cousins saw it. He saw that Diggs was confused, and he motioned, hurry up, we got this, basically telling them we're running this, and they run the wheel route with Mooney, and it was as wide open as a player can be.
It wasn't a difficult play at all. It wasn't a difficult play.
I think McCarthy said he pointed out that they shouldn't have been that close on the line of scrimmage. They should have backed off. The other 2 DBs.
I disagree.
Because they were too. They got into the bunch. It
allowed them to establish who's got who. They did. I thought they did exactly what they should have done. It allowed them to establish who's got who, because if you back off, then you have a whole bunch of stuff going on, and you still have Trayvon coming over late.
But they're still in man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So stay in man.
Well, don't you play zone and it's like I got the guy that goes outside, I got the guy that goes up the middle?
When you have two guys in bunch on the line of scrimmage, well, three at that time, I think it was.
It was three.
It was three. You have to establish two guys being on two receivers. You got to lock it in. So what they did when they came off the line of scrimmage, all of this, that doesn't matter. Hands up, all that.
I know.
That had nothing to do with anything. It had nothing to do with the outcome of the play itself. But to me, you have to establish the fact that I got him, you got him. This guy coming over.
Yeah, but if they crisscross, you run into each other.
Yeah, that's fine too. If they crisscross, they'll run into each other, their own selves. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They will create their own problems. So they're not going to do all of that. It's going to be hard to say, well, I'm going to end up crisscrossing, and they're going to be confused. No, you might get jacked up by him. You might get jacked up by him. The problem that you have, and it shouldn't have been a problem, is that wide receiver established himself right away where he was going.
Right.
There was no secret. Yeah. He was full sprint almost, right? You could see the guy talking about hurry up. So when he came around, all Diggs got to do was, you just said
he should have gone over the top.
Right? It wasn't complicated at all.
Right.
As a matter of fact, the route that he took through the guys, he still would have been beaten if he got through because he would have been outflanked already.
Well,
and Mooney
wasn't going to get through.
Mooney was.
Why then?
Mooney was probably as surprised as anybody that Diggs didn't go over the top on it, right? That he was so wide open there. He probably assumed, and that's why he had to get out there fast. That's why Cousins said, "Let's go," and that's why he got out there fast, and he thought that it was going to be a competitive situation. Him getting that pass.
That should have been a really an easy play to make. It really should.
The result
Diggs
was,
as fast as Diggs is, we know how athletic he is. You don't need to deal with these guys. That was vision. That had nothing to do with ability. That was vision. For some reason, he chose to go through. Clearly, that is not the place to go. If you're going to be, if you have no help over the top, then you need to be over the top. If he stops out there on the sideline and let's say that he just kind of settles himself right there on the sideline, then Diggs' problem would be to go over the guys and still be inside of that man.
Right.
You can't let him outflank you nor be deeper than you.
Now, Olsen made it sound like, this is obvious football 101 when you got four guys over there and then that one guy's going to come on the corner blitz. And so how quickly, even as confused as Trayvon was late getting out there, should you be able to pick up on what's going on?
You got to be over the top. Yeah. There's, no matter what, you have no safety.
And he
knows
he's got the inside guy.
He was already over the top, too.
Who?
Diggs, when he started off. He was off the line of scrimmage,
and for some reason
he ran
deviated.
into it. I know. So now,
I don't know where that came from. Yeah. It's as if he saw him check up. He didn't check up. He never broke down.
No.
He sprinted the entire time. Talking about the wide receiver.
Yes.
Mooney?
Darnell Mooney.
Because they were all on the line of scrimmage together.
Who's got 4.3 speed, by the way.
Well, then you better haul ass. So, I mean, there's no need in playing short. You got to play deep. You got to play over the top on the guy.
All right, so now it's 14-3, right? And they get to halftime. They score a touchdown on Doddle's bobble, catch it on, lay it on my back touchdown.
Why make it so hard, man? Right. I was really getting upset at that time. Why are you making it so hard? The ball wasn't thrown hard. Just catch the doggone ball. All the drama. Let's get it over with.
I mean, and how about Dak?
It worked.
Dak
did what he had to do.
Yeah.
Right. That's why his hamstring.
So 14-10. 14-10, right?
It should have loosened up and run all that much.
No, he wasn't ready for all of that.
Okay.
14-10.
14-10 at the half.
You're feeling good.
All right, so it's third quarter.
You're getting the ball to start.
That's right. You're getting the ball to start the third quarter. It's 14-10. In fact, first time you got the ball last week against San Francisco, you had just fallen behind 13-10.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because we were up 10-6.
And then it was three passes, and the third pass was an interception.
Right.
And they took over at the 32-yard line.
Mm-hmm. And they
okay, so what happened here this week?
So this one, the Cowboys get the ball, end up with a false start.
Again.
Terrence Steele. They get to 4th and 2 at the 38. And it's like, okay, you got to punt. Well, they didn't punt. Mm-hmm. They had a fake punt on
Oh my God!
And I'm thinking,
How could you forget about that play?
Oh my God! Because I'm thinking about Mooney and
when I saw it what happened, I'm thinking, well, he's so worried about his defense, they needed to steal a possession.
Yeah, and I get that.
But it was still 14-10, and Anger gets the snap and never looked, just threw the ball, right? And the DB.
It don't matter.
No, it was. I got it. He was.
It don't matter.
They brought him
really
up.
don't matter.
They brought him up off the practice squad.
Okay.
That matters.
Natron Brooks. He was playing for that. He didn't back off. He was like in man coverage, right? And so when I saw it, and Goodwin gets tied up and he goes down, and I'm going, well, that's pass interference. And it's like, no, there's no pass interference on special teams, right? Because he's not a designated wide receiver.
He's a designated gunner.
He's
right.
stopping the gunner,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And so, to me, and I think somebody told me Nate was all pissed off about it, that the up guy,
Nathan Frisco?
yes, Nathan Frisco, needed to call it off because they saw that guy was not bailing to go downfield to block.
I agree.
And Goodwin told me afterwards that the guy came to him, they were talking, and he goes, I knew what you were going to do. And he was waiting for it because he was right there. And he said he was playing a cover 2. So basically, go get your guy because we got coverage over the top.
The coverage over the top would be the return man.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So
he's always there for support.
So
on the fake.
That backfires. You give him the ball at the 38-yard line.
So you basically did what Dak did last week with throwing interception.
Right. And you turn the ball over.
Let's not proceed from there.
No, because we got to finish this. Because this comes up to the pass rush that I was telling you about. So they end up with McLeod going in motion, cuts through the middle of the 2 other wide receivers, cuts all the way across the field, left to right, and Donovan Wilson can't keep up. The play took 6 seconds. He had that much time in the pocket, at least 4, right, to wait for him to clear all the way across, and he throws a touchdown, wide open guy. And now suddenly 14-10 is now 21-10. Just like that. So you had 2 things kind of went wrong. You didn't get a pass rush, and you failed on the fake punt.
To me, once again, it's all about matchups. Okay. First of all, the punt, the fake punt, that was one of the worst calls ever, because let's just say if the cornerback did not know that it was coming, you still have a man on a gunner. That man is still attached to that gunner at all times. You're going to jack him up all the way down the field. That is not the play to run there. That's a hard pass for a quarterback to make. You're going to ask a punter to make that pass? That's too much of a risk.
The pass was good.
But it's not
he
safe.
Just wasn't open.
That's right.
Well, yeah, because the receiver ain't there either.
Well, he fell down.
Yeah, see, but because he ain't a receiver, Spags.
What happened to the old adage that McCarthy's talked about in the press conference last week?
What's that?
That a good possession is one that ends in a kick, an extra point, a field goal, or a punt.
Good one, Bill.
And for them to even try that, to assume that he's going to be open, he's not a wide receiver. That's just all. He's not a quarterback. Why would you even try something like that? You have to do something in the interior or something. These guys are going to be blanketed.
Only 2 yards they needed.
Stop me. Please stop me. Because
now here's the
They
kicker.
only needed 2 yards, but the pass was 30 yards.
What is going on, man?
So here's the kicker. So you get the ball back, right? You're down 21-10. You drive to midfield, and that's when they incurred the 4th and 1 at the 49, too many men in the huddle. And now you got a punt. So they were moving, right? They ended up, they got that 12-yard pass to Tolbert. They were 1st and 10 at the 42. And
I got too much to complain about today. I don't know. You know, we can
too
take
many
this
men in the
tomorrow,
huddle.
man. I gotta be ready to read my stuff, man.
Chances are you maybe pick that up.
I'm still fussing about Donovan Wilson, act like he's never seen the damn doggone wide receiver before. Man, you got to match up as a safety. You have to sometimes anticipate what's going on. That was not a difficult route to cover. He faded too far inside. You only have so much responsibility back there. That wide receiver was the only one he had to look at. And yes, that was a long time. You're right, Spags. That was a long time for him to have to cover. But the wide receiver took a long time to get to you because it was made that way. He was able to almost a deception right to the left and then came back and threw to his right. So it's going to take some time. That had to take some time. But as a safety, you also have to understand that you have time. But he played it almost as if it was man-to-man inside when you should have been really playing him straight up. There are times when, yes, the scheme may not work well for you, Spags. But as an individual player, you know what a route looks like. And there's no way he should have taken that fake inside. I'm sorry. He should have been able to play that better. I've seen Donovan Wilson play better. I don't know what's going on with him this year. I've seen him play so much better. I don't know what's going on, but his head is not in the game mentally.
Pass coverage is not his forte.
Well, then don't get me started on that then. Somebody needs to have forte around here.
We continue with more Mick shots in just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Back to Mick Shots.
Witness the biggest boxing event in modern history at Netflix and MVP's Paul vs. Tyson and Taylor vs. Serrano. Head to AT&T Stadium on Friday, November 15th, as international superstar Jake Paul takes on the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson. And don't miss Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano's long-awaited rematch for the undisputed super lightweight championship. Limited tickets are available now at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium.
Okay, it's time for a Mick shot. Right.
Yes. So
here we go.
They're down 21-10. Mm-hmm. They're driving. It's 3rd and 10 at the 39-yard line, and it's like, all right, we got a play here that's going to work. And Dak's going to basically run a tight end screen to his right. Mm-hmm.
Good call, by the way.
If it had worked, like if it got blocked,
good call. We had like 3
they're
plays.
going.
We had 3 plays where you can say that exact
they're
same
going,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Ferguson, who was the intended receiver, was supposed to at least chip Judon, right? And he didn't do it.
Nope.
He got in a hurry to get out there. So here comes this guy bearing down on Dak. Zach Martin gets beat up the middle. And Dak's just got to, after, as Bill pointed out, he had already strained his hamstring.
On the previous play.
On the previous play, the completion to, well, they had a completion to Brooks, right? Before that.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That was so weird.
And so all he has to do is chip him and then go out. Well, he just kind of, I don't even know if he elbowed him.
Yeah, he kind of brushed him.
And so he's open, but Dak's not got time when he tries to throw it.
He tried to go here, right?
Yeah, and it came up 5 yards short.
Right. Well, I thought the guy knocked it down.
Well, maybe he got a piece of it.
Yeah, I think he got a piece of it because Dak tried to go here, and the guy was like, he just kind of slapped
And
him.
so if you get that first down, and he's going to gain 20 yards at least, you got a chance to score a touchdown instead of settling
Ferguson
for a
he was on the roll, man.
57-yard
He was
field
balling,
goal.
man.
I know.
Dang, he was balling.
And that happens. And it's like, God, can you make one more mistake like that?
Did you see what Dak was actually
It was a hell of a call,
a
too.
little bit upset out there. Did you see that? I mean, I've always seen him just kind of have this look on his
when
face
was
like,
that?
We'll address this when we get to the sideline.
When he got upset?
But, yeah, there was a couple of plays where he got upset, and I think that was one of them.
And so since they don't score there, then the next possession, they march right down the field, kind of run on the Cowboys, and all of a sudden now it's 27.
There was a play where Dak almost threw an interception. He threw it too high to threw it behind and too high to Ferguson. Remember that one?
Yeah, yeah.
I think Ferguson was supposed to check up and not continue going out.
And he kept going.
And that's one play when Dak was very, very, very upset about.
Was it a completion to Ferguson?
It was incomplete. He was
Okay.
because I think, and it happened again on another tight end, and Olsen pointed that out. The tight ends are running into coverage. Again, in the zone,
Yeah,
they're running
forward.
into coverage.
Yeah.
Well, I think Ferguson did the same thing because that's why Dak threw it here as opposed to throwing it where Ferguson wanted. You're going into the zone. There was another defender there.
So sit down.
Sit down, and that was twice. I think they should.
Well, was that
said,
the one that Ford kind of got in the way, spawned Ford?
It was just bounced all over the place.
Yeah.
But Ferguson tried to make a great catch, but it was too high and too hot behind him.
And here we are, 3-5.
I just never seen him. You reading his lips. He was pretty pissed off about
Philadelphia on the horizon.
that.
Trade deadline on the horizon.
Trade deadline tomorrow.
It's probably just me, but Philly just doesn't scare me.
Okay, but
And A.J. Brown's hurt, too.
Atlanta didn't scare me.
They got their own MRI going on today.
Yeah, we all felt that we had a chance to win this one. Truly had a chance.
They did, too. Dak even said it afterwards.
Yeah.
That he goes, this was set up for us.
Talk to him.
What we got?
Okay. This breaking news, Ian Rappaport. And this is, I'm going to make sure before I say anything, 12:42 p.m., Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott's hamstring injury was worse than initially feared. He is expected to miss multiple weeks, sources tell me and Tom Pelissero. In fact, this is not looking like a short-term injury.
So it's Tom Pelissero because he's in
Let's see
he
what
knows
Pelissero
McCarthy
says.
real well.
Pelissero is basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Expected to miss multiple weeks because of the hamstring injury he suffered.
So going up them stairs wasn't a good test, huh?
Nope, it wasn't. He didn't. He needed to have him run up the steps.
Right, I was going to say he shouldn't have been.
Hey, could you go a little faster?
With his bag
in his right hand,
right.
by the way.
So there you have it. At least the news didn't break after we signed off.
Because it normally does. Good thing we went long, right?
Okay. And
he's
Rappaport goes on to say he will get a second opinion, but he's out multiple weeks, and it could be more.
What?
So he's got a torn hamstring.
That's torn.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
when you throw a ball and there's pain.
It's on NFL Network right now. Oh, no, he's talking about Allen getting fired.
All right. So that does it.
Well, we got a lot to talk about tomorrow.
It's been such a great show. And
Jerry sounded optimistic that something could be in the works. Stephen did too, that something could be in the works as far as a trade.
I was going to ask one last question.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What could they pick up to turn this around?
What could they pick up? What position?
In a trade.
Position.
If you just, without all the, the details that you know of, I'd be going for somebody in the trenches. That's just me.
Defense.
Yeah. Defensive lineman.
Defensive
maybe a
end.
linebacker. Yeah. That's
I'm
just
sitting there
me.
watching the Indianapolis Colts yesterday, and with that DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart. I mean, Indianapolis doesn't have that much going on elsewhere, but I mean, it's one of the strengths of their team and why they're able to be at 500
That's
or
true.
whatever they
That
are.
is so true. It's because of
without
their
a lot of
defense.
buzz about them, whatever.
Right.
And if you can get guys like you can't get guys like that at the trade deadline.
Right.
They thought they were signing one of those guys in Jordan Phillips to at least stem the tide for a little bit.
That's what we were supposed to do.
So anyway, yeah.
Because if you look at,
they've been taking shots on these veteran guys from Jordan Phillips to Linval Joseph to try to shore up that interior.
And it's
So what are they doing? Are they still?
Linval's playing, but he's 36 years
Phillips?
old. And Phillips has been
Inactive.
on IR, inactive, and
For the wrist? It was a wrist? Phillips?
Yes.
Yeah, he wasn't aware of it, but yeah, it was a wrist.
So they played and we got to go on.
What do you mean?
They played.
That's what he said. He wasn't aware of that.
They
So
played.
he's
That's
just
what he was
playing
told.
like nothing.
That's what he
just-
said.
They played the veterans that you talked about. They picked up Linval Joseph. They picked up Watkins.
Yeah, Carlos Watkins.
Each of them had one tackle. And the top 5 guys
that's 2.
in tackles were not a defensive line.
And Schoonmaker played one snap yesterday.
Yes.
All right, that does it for Mix Shots. Can't wait to talk about all the trades tomorrow
it'll be
here
fun.
on Mix Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?